I miss the desert.
In 1944, Germany was still engaged in World War II as the movie opens. Nazis commanded by Colonel Weber have captured Indiana Jones because they think the man is a spy. They let him to hang until a bomb detonates inside their base, killing the Nazis and giving Indy a chance to escape. Basil Shaw, an Oxford professor and Indy's colleague, has also been apprehended. As Basil is being hauled away on a train, Indy commandeers a car and chases after it while fending off Nazis. After Indy aboard, he and Weber's second-in-command Jürgen Voller both recognize the lance as a duplicate, contrary to the Nazis' initial belief that it will provide them an advantage in the fight. The Archimedes dial, the Antikythera, is also in Voller's hands. After overcoming more Nazis, Indy rescues Basil and takes the dial with him. Weber pursues them to the train's roof, where he battles Indy until Basil shoots him, giving Indy the opportunity to send Weber flying off to his death. Voller pursues them, only to get knocked off the train. Indy and Basil jump before the bridge gets blown up by the Allies. Go back to 1969. On the morning of the Apollo 11 moon landing, Indy awakens. As he discusses the Battle of Sicily and the contributions of Archimedes with his inattentive students at Hunter College, he reports to his position as a professor there. Helena, a young woman, attends and participates in the presentation. Helena follows Indy as he enters a retirement celebration for him after class. Unbeknownst to Helena, a CIA operative by the name of Mason follows her and informs her boss Voller, who has miraculously survived and is now employed by NASA under the name Schmidt, among other Nazis like Klaber and the obnoxious Hauke. They have come to seek the dial, as he believes that it can help him undo the past and help the Nazis win the war. Indy is overtaken by Helena, who he initially doesn't recognize before realizing she is his goddaughter because she is Basil's daughter. She sits down to talk with him about her own archaeology work and how she attempted to carry on her father's research. Even though solving the dial's puzzles is what drove Basil insane, Helena claims that the dial has been divided in two, and she wants Indy to help her find the second half in Tangier. Nevertheless, Indy consents to give her the dial fragment that Basil kept. While Voller's thugs arrive, Indy takes Helena to the college's storeroom. Before attempting to corner Indy and Helena, Klaber and Hauke kill two of Indy's co-workers. Before Helena flees with the other half of the dial, Indy knocks over a row of shelves, crushing one of the Nazis in the process. While Klaber and Hauke pursue him, Indy is kidnapped but manages to escape the Nazis in the middle of a procession commemorating the moon landing while riding a horse. Before getting on a train himself, Indy rides the horse through the metro tunnels and outruns them. Indy is accused of killing the two professors, but before a bystander can recognize him, his old friend Sala, John Rhys Davies, kidnaps him. Indy believes his days of exploration are over after talking to Sala about their past exploits, but Sala persuades him otherwise. After sharing some insightful details about the kinds of individuals Helena will encounter, he drives Indy to the airport so he may meet her. At a casino in Tangier that is run by the criminal Big Rahim, Indy comes. Aziz Rahim, his son, is upset with Helena because she allegedly dumped him. Helena is attending a private auction when Indy arrives to try to sell the dial's share. She is stopped by him, and he engages in combat with the other guests, more criminals who fire their weapons at him. Teddy Kumar, Helena's young sidekick, and Indy run, but Voller and his men have found them and taken the dial. The group then had to flee from Rahim and his thugs who are pursuing them while they chase the heroes in a tuk-tuk, who in turn are chasing the Nazis. Rahim is lost to the three, but Voller and his men are whisked away by Mason and her squad on a plane. In order to continue their search, Voller and Klaber hijack her jet after shooting her. Indy and Helena hire Indy's captain buddy Ronaldo to take them on a boat to the Aegean Sea in Athens, where they believe they can find a tablet that will help them find the second half of the dial. When Helena asks Indy what he would do with the dial before their underwater adventure, he replies that he would use it to persuade his son Mutt not to enlist in the Vietnam War. He and Marion were so deeply devastated by his death that they are currently going through a divorce. As Indy and Helena scuba dive to find the tablet, Ronaldo joins them. Eels, which are just as dangerous to Indy as snakes, must be dealt with, but they are able to free it from a shipwreck. They had to swim back to the surface since the Nazis had discovered them as well and had shut off their air. Ronaldo tries to defend Indy, but Voller shoots and kills him when he questions them about the tablet. Then Voller tries to recruit Helena by offering her jewels, but she is actually hiding a stick of dynamite that Indy helps her light so they can escape with Teddy. Helena informs Indy that the Nazis are unaware of the location of the tomb of Archimedes, which houses the other half of the dial, as they sail away as he pays tribute to Ronaldo. The golden plate that can direct them to the tomb is revealed when Indy takes the tablet and melts the wax covering it. Arriving in Sicily are Indy, Teddy, and Helena. As separating from the group, Teddy is tracked down by the Nazis as Valor again pursued them. After stealing a wedding car, Indy and Helena see them carrying him away and try to follow. They reach the same cave where the tomb is located together with the Nazis and Teddy. Due to Hauke's weight, a footbridge collapses as Teddy and Hauke are shackled together, sending them floating away in the stream. In order to escape the Nazis, Teddy is able to steal Hauke's keys and leave him imprisoned with no way out. When Indy and Helena discover the tomb, they're surprised to see the dial in Archimedes' hands along with a wristwatch. Just as Valor finds them once more, Helena surmises that Archimedes passed through time. He confesses his scheme to assassinate Hitler in the past since he knew all the errors he would make and thinks he can change history to give the Nazis victory. The other half of the dial is combined by Valor. In order to travel through a storm and open the portal that the dial unlocked, Valor boards a plane with Indy. While Teddy hotwires another aircraft and pursues them, Helena smuggles into the aircraft without the pilot's knowledge. Then, Indy informs Valor that he failed to account for continental drift, which prevented them from arriving at the outbreak of World War II. As both planes pass through a portal that transports them to the siege of Syracuse, Valor discovers too late that Indy was correct. Indy and Helena grab a parachute and fall off the plane as Roman soldiers start firing at them after taking out more Nazis. Valor and Clabber perish when their plane does down in a fiery blaze. Archimedes notices the planes for the first time. He finds the plane's wreckage and removes the dial and watch that Indy and Helena had discovered on Valor's body. Indy and Helena are discovered by Archimedes and his student, who realize that their invention was always meant to transport the user back to this specific moment in history. Helena knocks out Indy's lights and boards the plane with Teddy despite his protests that he wants to stay there during this time period because he wants to genuinely be a part of history and because he doesn't see a future there. Indy regains consciousness at his apartment and is startled to see Marion enter the building along with Helena, Teddy, Sala, and his grandchildren. As Indy realizes she still needs him, they part ways so the two of them can have a private moment of reconciliation. They kiss each other. The movie then cuts to an iris encircling Indy's infamous hat as it is drying outside, then Indy snatches it. After his son Mutt was killed in Vietnam, famed explorer Indiana Jones through a difficult period in his life, which resulted in their divorce from Marion. He is discovered by Helena Shaw, the daughter of Indy's late co-worker Basil, after being forced into retirement. The Archimedes dial was taken from the Nazis by the two, but Basil became insane due to its mysteries. In order to become a well-known archaeologist like him and her father, Helena wants Indy's assistance in discovering them. The dial is sought after by a group of Nazis led by Jürgen Valor in the expectation that it will allow them to travel back in time and change the course of World War II so that the Nazis triumph. After joining Helena's young sidekick Teddy in Tangier, Indy and Helena lose the first half of the dial. They enlist the aid of Ronaldo, a captain who is a friend of Indy's, to help them travel to the Aegean Sea in search of a tablet that would lead them to the tomb of Archimedes, which contains the other half of the dial. The heroes take the tablet and learn that the tomb is in Sicily before the Nazis catch them and kill Ronaldo. The Nazis catch up to the heroes after they locate the other half, and Valor joins the two pieces. He leads Indy with him via a portal that they believe would transport them to the beginning of the conflict, but instead they find themselves at Syracuse's siege in 212 BC. When the military shoot their jet down, Valor and his goon Clabber die. Archimedes, who has always meant to travel back in time via the dial, is introduced to Indy and Helena. Indy wants to stay there because he wants to be a part of history and because he doesn't see a future for himself in his native country, but Helena, who came after with Teddy, forces him to return to their time. Indy ends up back home and ends up reconciling with Marion. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like and share the video.
Get back!
Who is
sisters met.
I'm her
Mildly
godfather.
related.